Let's check in on the eastern leg of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour. We're now joined by Oliver Sloup. He is with Blue Line Futures. Thank you, Oliver, for being with us again today and all week this week. Thanks much for that, too. It was good to see you in Bloomington last night, and I bet you enjoyed, again, getting together with all the Crop Tour scouts on the eastern leg.
Yeah, it was great to see you as well, and always good to kind of come together at the end of the day and talk about what everyone saw on their routes. And I think a big takeaway is you asked 11 different scouts what they saw, and you're probably going to get 11 different answers. When you and I spoke yesterday afternoon, we were just getting out of our first two counties in McLean, Illinois, and man, did it look good. And I was talking about how good things looked, and then as soon as we hopped off, we ran into a field that just wasn't there, and so that kind of brought some variability into the end of yesterday's tour, and that pretty much where we picked up on today is variability and things kind of being all over the place.
So you headed from Bloomington to Macomb and picked up your crop tour there. That first stop looked like it was a pretty good one. What did you find there and for the rest of the morning?
Yeah, it was pretty good shape. We had a good yield check there. The further west that we are going, it has dried out quite a bit. So that's something of note. I think a lot of the variability that we saw was early in our route in Macomb and then Christian County, just kind of all over the map there. But starting to move a little bit further west, things are starting to dry out, but we are starting to see the yield come in a little bit better. Although, again, I think a lot of it just goes back to the expectations and what to meet those expectations. That's going to be the big question. The USDA coming in at 221, above last year's 217. I think about 8 or 9 stops in, our average is about 202. Now that's just one specific route on the eastern leg, and we're talking about going into these fields. It's a lot of random samples. You're only picking 3 years, but I think it's one of those things where you get enough randomness combined with each other and you start to make something out of it. So I think that's what the whole objective is this week, is get enough data points and samples to try to formulate a story and give a ballpark of where things might be in these counties and states as a whole.
You're traveling through western Illinois. Where will you cross into Iowa, and will you take Iowa samples today as well?
Yeah, so we'll be meeting up with the rest of the scouts and our team in Iowa City and kind of go over the data. And again, the nightly meetings are great. It makes for a long day, but it's really worth time to get together, come together, go over all the data points, talk with people about what they're seeing on their routes. So as you know, being in the Midwest, things change very quickly, whether you're 100 miles away or even just 5 miles down the road from somebody else. So it'll be interesting to see what other folks are seeing out there.
Hey, thank you much, Oliver.
Thanks, Todd.
Oliver Sloup is with Blue Line Futures. He's on the eastern leg of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour.